what is it like riding Pride of Jenni?
Well, Pride of Jenni, we expected her to lead by a long way, but seriously, 30 lengths?
I've never been involved in a horse at races like that.
There's no stopping her. What a performance!
Yeah, it's just a privilege, but it's the experience of it. It's when we win, it's a real rush at the end.
She's 3 in front of Mr. Brightside. It's all too late. Pride of Jenni has run them into the night.
It's exciting, but also makes you very nervous.
I think when you watch her races, it seems very it's thrilling to watch, but as her jockey, I try to keep it very calm, basically. So I try to make it as less thrilling as possible for me as such.
I actually sort of like to watch her race on my own normally. I just prefer to be left alone, since she does make me a little bit nervous sometimes.
It's really probably from the 600 home when I'm really happy to let the shackles off and let her run. And it's usually inside the last 100 when I know whether we're kind of going to cling on or not. And in the days when we win, it's sort of inside that last 50. It's a real rush. Yeah, certainly with her racing style, it's certainly very thrilling.
This is a demolition job. Pride of Jenni in the Queen Elizabeth Stakes. My oh my.
Yeah, the Fiend Stakes that was a fantastic win, really, even though it certainly wasn't our grand final or anything.
That was amazing. The atmosphere was definitely, it was different to probably all of her other wins that I've been to. It was just an amazing atmosphere, and the crowd was fantastic.
So it's Pride of Jenni. Now Bates just starts to row along a bit. She's 10 in front of Mr. Brightside.
And I think once we turned into the straight with a bit of a gap, I could certainly hear the crowd, and it was a matter of just focusing on that winning line. And once we got across it and trotting back even to the mounting yard, just the atmosphere on the day was electric.
You know, that's what racing's all about. You know, nights like this and really good racing.
For it to be like that for a Fiend Stakes night, I can't imagine what it would be like for a Cox Plate.
Why the tears? Why does she mean so much to you?
Oh, she's just very special.
Yeah, look, she's proven now over the 2,000 metres. She's proven with the Fiend win, she's been around the valley this prep, which is a big tick. So if we get to a Cox Plate, 2,000 metres around there, it ticks a lot of boxes for her. It suits her style.
Each their own, but I think the Cox Plate is definitely the one race that I'd love to be involved with, a horse that could win that.
If we were to win, that would be the ultimate goal here in Australia. I think Pride of Jenni's been fantastic for my career, and you'd certainly say it's been life-changing. She's certainly paid for a few things around the house the last couple of years. It's been good. Yeah, long may it last.
She's just an amazing horse. I love her, and I just feel very honoured to be part of her journey.